Standing in front of the Mr. Clean variant, the mirror finish on the fuel tank turns the motorcycle into a statement piece. It is a design that prioritizes heritage aesthetic over any practical commuting requirement. The styling pulls directly from the 1960s Cathay racer subculture in London. Young riders would strip down their motorcycles to hit the magical ton, 100 miles per hour, racing from diner to diner. That raw mechanical rebellion is baked right into the DNA of the GT 650. But the romance hits a very literal wall the moment you take it off the sidestand. Fully fueled, this motorcycle weighs 211 kilograms. It is a massive block of steel and aluminum, and you feel every single pound. That weight is compounded by how you are forced to sit. Because of the low clip-on handlebars and foot pegs that are pushed far back, your torso is pulled forward and forced downward over the fuel tank. This exposes the first major hurdle for new riders. If you sit on this bike lazily, all of your upper body weight drops directly onto your wrists. To avoid rapid joint fatigue, you have to actively squeeze that heavy fuel tank with your knees, using your core to support your posture. The GT 650 refuses to accommodate you. It is a physically demanding machine that requires you to adapt your body and riding technique just to keep it on the road. Underneath that punishing posture is the core character of the bike, a 648cc parallel twin engine, and it has a distinct dual-nature personality when delivering its 47 horsepower. This chart maps torque output against RPMs. At lower speeds, the curve is mellow and cruiser-like, but rev higher and you hit an aggressive surge in power, pulling so hard you can reach 75 kilometers per hour before shifting out of first gear. Generating that kind of power creates extreme heat. This air and oil-cooled engine block relies entirely on forward momentum to shed thermal energy. If you find yourself sitting in heavy summer traffic, those metal fins act like a radiator, baking your legs with a relentless wave of heat. If you take it onto the highway to cool off, you hit the chassis' aerodynamic limits. Push the speedometer near 120 kilometers per hour, and a strong crosswind catches the heavy frame, inducing a noticeable drifting effect across your lane. Touring requires serious logistical planning. You have to install an aftermarket windscreen to fight off the heavy drag hitting your chest. And if you pack luggage, saddlebags must be meticulously mounted high and tight, or they will literally melt against those dual upswept exhausts. Mastering the raw pull of the engine is only half the battle. Actively managing the intense thermal output in the city and the aerodynamic limitations on the highway dictates exactly how far you can push this machine. Then there is the physics problem that comes with moving 211 kilograms of solid steel down the road. Eventually, you have to stop it. To solve this, Royal Enfield relies on a standard set of bi-braid disc brakes, a 320mm front rotor, and a smaller 240mm rotor on the rear. During an emergency stop, the massive forward inertia of the heavy steel frame completely overwhelms the system. The intense friction from clamping down overheats the pads, causing sudden brake fade and a harsh metal-to-metal grinding sound as the hardware struggles to bite. The brute weight of the bike outclasses its stock stopping power. You can't just grab a handful of brake to stop on a dime. You must rely heavily on advanced road anticipation to stay safe. Because of these mechanical realities, many riders treat the factory GT 650 as an unfinished canvas. Bridging the gap between aesthetic passion and daily practicality requires deliberate, targeted modifications. The factory wheel uses wire spokes and inner tubes. Punctures collapse instantly under the bike's heavy frame. Since dual exhausts block the rear axle, roadside removal is a nightmare. The solution? Swapping to solid alloy wheels and tubeless tires, which plug easily in minutes. Next comes the protective armor. A clear paint protection film is practically mandatory to save the fingerprint magnet chrome tank from scratches. Down below, owners add heavy-duty leg guards and metal sump guards to shield the exposed oil filter and engine block from road debris. Owners often turn to the exhaust system to alter the bike's character. Replacing the heavy, restrictive stock silencers with lighter aftermarket slip-ons uncovers the raw, aggressive growl that a 648cc parallel twin is actually capable of producing. The Continental GT 650 is an unapologetically demanding motorcycle that refuses to compromise. But for those willing to adapt their physical riding skills and customize their hardware, it rewards them with an analog, visceral experience that very few modern machines can match.